So welcome you all of you to the session, and our resource person is also ready. So we'll be starting the session right now. Coordinators, we can start with the introduction.
Good evening, everyone. It's my privilege to welcome our esteemed resource person, Mr. Anish Nair, co-founder and CEO, Logix Space Technologies, Kochi. Mr. Anish Nair is a skilled corporate trainer with expertise in various programming languages and technologies. He is a co-founder and CEO of Logix Space Technologies, a startup focused on technical and corporate training. His leadership played a crucial role in the development of Safe Kids, an app implemented in Kerala schools. He is an expert in areas like machine learning, AI, robotics, and full stack development. Also, he is a certified Red Hat engineer and leads training at Logix Space Technologies and Lingua Codes. He has trained professionals from top companies like Samsung, Nest Digital, and Harman Kardon. Mr. Anish is passionate about teaching and has created programs like Women Who Code and Coding for Kids. He is a jury member for the Reboot Kerala Hackathon 2020 organized by ASAP Kerala and a Board of Studies member at SBCE Kerala. He delivers engaging training sections and explaining complex tech concepts very clearly. We warmly welcome you, sir, and looking forward to an excellent section. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome. So, very good evening. Yes.
Thank you, Anish. Can you please try whether you can start the presentation?
Oh, yes. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Okay.
Uh, And also, can you switch on the video for a?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So how my screen is visible, right? Am I
Yes,
audible?
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You are.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So very good evening, all. And
Good evening, sir.
yeah. Okay. Thank you. So actually, before going to start, I would like to share something. I am currently recovering from a cold, and so due to that, my voice may sound a little off today. So please pardon. Pardon me if I pause occasionally or if my voice cracks at sometimes. So actually, this session, as you know, that it's officially planned for tomorrow, and due to some changes, we are conducting it by today itself. So thank you all for adjusting on this short notice. So I truly appreciate your flexibility. So thank you. So we are going to start today's session by discussing the latest trends in the AI and computing. So before going to start, uh, yeah. So actually, when we think about the concept of AI or robots, this may be the first picture that come to your mind. So yeah, this is some type of pictures that come to mind whenever you think about the AI or typical concept, right? So actually, this is not your problem. Actually, this is inspired from a lot of movies like Bollywood movies, the Collywood movies, and even our Mollywood movies. We are actually influenced with this type of concepts, right? Actually, this is a humanoid, right? This is a typical humanoid concept. But when we think about the AI, this is a main picture that comes to our mind. Okay, So yeah, even you know that even the world is actually recognized the robot as the official citizen, right? This maybe you have heard this news from the newspapers. This is not the latest news, but this news has some relevance in this era, which means the Sophia. So this is the first uh, robot citizen, right? That developed by a Hong Kong company, right? So yes, yeah. Any chat? Oh,
No,
okay.
just
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all about the typical humanoid concept. But all of you should understand that all those are the concept of humanoids, right? Okay. So, these are the agendas that we are planning for this session. So, first, you have to understand the concept of the predictive to generative AI, then some multimodality concepts, then some large language model concepts and some SLMs, and the agentic AI concepts, the some hardware evolutions, and some responsible AI and ethics concepts. So whenever you think about the AI, actually now we in this topic we are discussing about the main concepts, which means the trend, which means we are starting from the concepts of this one, right? The evolution of the computing. Actually, as you know that in earlier days, we have a traditional computing. It is nothing but simple if else concepts. So maybe you are aware about the first chatbot Elisa that developed during 1950s. So that was our first chatbot Elisa. Actually, in that, it's a rule based one, right? Which means a typical if else. For example, if I give hello, then it is actually programmed like if a user asks is equal to hello, just give reply as hello. It's a typical programmed one. That was our first chatbot, Elisa. When you just Google it, you will get some uh, like a uh, command prompt screenshot of that Elisa chatbot. Actually, it's a rule-based chatbot that developed during that uh, old generation. So first, you have to understand that our programming, when we think about this concept of the evolution, concept of the computing, the first one is the traditional computing that actually simple if-else. Actually, in 2020s, that concept evolved, and we have pattern recognitions. Maybe you are aware about that part, pattern recognitions, which means the concept of the regular expression concepts. So extracting some patterns from the images, contents, that type of concept actually evolved in that 2010s, and it's an evolution of uh, machine learning. So as you are aware that machine learning, it is nothing but it is actually learned from the data, or it learns the patterns from the data and predict it. Actually, now if you want to start, if you are really interested to start to learn the concept of AI and generative AI, agentic AI, all those. So first of all, you should start with machine learning. So you should understand the concept of machine learning. So this is the first thing that I am definitely actually always saying to my students. So first you have to start with machine learning. So before going to start with machine learning, you should have a proper knowledge in linear algebra, right? The math part, linear algebra. You should have a proper foundation in linear algebra, especially in matrices, that different types of metrics, multiplications. So that part, that's very important before going to learn machine learning, which means if you already know that, you should revise all those concepts. Also, you should understand the concept of statistics. The statistics means the like continuous data, discrete data, and the concept of different statistical methods, right? Which means why I actually give the information that first you have to learn the statistics part, which means statistics is nothing but you are actually handling the data, right? So before going to process that data in machine learning, first you should understand the concept of statistics. So in that statistics, you have to understand how you are going to handle the data, how the data are. So what is the shape of the data? So that type of concept, statistical concept, you should understand it properly before going to learn. I'm getting some noise. Um, could all of you please mute your microphone? Okay, thank you. Okay, so machine learning. So before going to learn machine learning, you should learn the statistics, and you should learn the algebraic concept, metrics, metrics multiplications, that type of all those things you should understand. Which means the element-wise multiplication, the normal matrix multiplication. Because if you want to process an image, it is nothing but a simple matrix. So machines actually process the data or images as metrics. Now, that's a concept. But normally, nowadays, we are actually seeing that a lot of students actually starting learning the machine learning or deep learning or generative AI. They are actually starting with the libraries. There are, as you know, that there are a lot of machine learning libraries are available. Scikit-learn libraries, um, like a TensorFlow. Actually, TensorFlow, what it is actually, it is processing the tensor, right? Which means they are actually doing the matrix multiplications, right? So in simple that before going to use the libraries available, you should have a proper computation knowledge. So that will be very helpful in that. Okay, so first you have to understand the concept of machine learning properly. So in the machine learning, you can start with different algorithms, right? Linear regression algorithms, linear regression, polynomial regressions, multi-linear regressions, right? The multiple linear regressions, then classification algorithms, SVMs, decision tree, random forest, right? So you have to play with the data in machine learning. Then you have to learn the concept of deep learning. So that's a technology that evolved in the year 2010s, which means just a decade ago, or the concept of deep learning around. Actually, the deep learning concept it is actually very easy to learn. It is a concept of neural networks. Maybe you have already had that, uh, EFCNN. That's a old CNN networks. Then nowadays we have a RNN, uh, the different concepts of RNN, CNN, that concepts are there. So that is nothing but neural networks. It is nothing but we are actually imitating human intelligence, right? So first you have to understand that AI is a typical umbrella. So inside that AI,
Anish, sir, your mic is on mute. Can you please unmute?
oh sorry, when it was muted. So
Just few seconds back.
oh, okay. I don't know what actually happened. Okay, so yeah. So what's the last thing that you have heard? Deep learning concept. What I have mentioned. Have you heard that?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you just said like AI is like an umbrella.
Oh, okay. Good. So that's okay. Thank you. So typically, you have to understand that AI is a typical umbrella. In that, we have a concept of machine learning. So you should understand that machine learning is nothing but a simple subset of AI. And what is deep learning? It is a subset of it is nothing but it's a subset of machine learning. So this is a concept of AI. Got it? So in total, we say that it is AI, but in that machine learning, the concept, it is nothing but it is learning from the data and doing some predictions, that type of things. So that is the concept of machine learning, and you have to understand that it is a subset of AI. And deep learning means we are actually applying human intelligence. We are actually imitating some human intelligence. As you know that in our brain, there are actually millions of neurons are there. In our brain, millions of neurons are there. So we are actually creating artificial neurons, right? So that's the concept of deep learning. And you should understand that in artificial neurons, there are nearly 10,000 neurons are there, artificial neurons are there. But even that 10,000 neurons are capable of, actually, like a human brain is more intelligent than our artificial neurons, right? But what's the problem with the human? Human have laziness, right? Human have lot of distractions, right, during their work, sleepiness, right, tiredness. But machines don't have that type of sleepiness, tiredness, all those of concept. Machine is very powerful because of that. So even that 10,000 neurons have the capability of actually imitating the more powerful human intelligence. So that's the concept of deep learning. And you have to understand that in that concept of deep learning, you have to understand the concept of FCNN, neural net CNN, convolution neural networks, like RNN. Okay, so all those concepts you have to understand it properly. And in that, you can, when you try to learn, you will definitely learn the concept of multiple layers, right? Input layer, hidden layers, output layer. So all those are the computations. So nowadays, students on faculty is actually teaching the only that that program part, which means if you want to apply neural networks, you can use TensorFlow. So with the help of TensorFlow, you can actually apply neural networks, right? You can create multiple tensors, and you can do that. For which means, what is the advantage of deep learning while comparing with machine learning? Which means in the deep learning, if you are going to deal with images or videos or audios, so it's better to use some neural networks to train, right? So for that type of concepts, deep learning is more powerful while comparing with the normal machine learning. In deep learning, there are plenty of algorithms out there. You should understand that all those have some computations. So first, you have to understand the computations properly. Okay, so this is not the platform to give you all that information, but you just understand that if you are really planning to learn AI from very basics, first you have to understand the concept of statistics, linear algebra, metrics, all those concepts, simple math concepts. Then try to learn machine learning algorithms. Then like linear regression, logistic regression, typical classification algorithms, all those things. Then try to learn the deep learning algorithms, and then try to learn the concept of NLP, natural language processing. It is nothing but, nowadays you already know that the concept of there are plenty of concepts of chatbots are available, right? Chatbots means they are collecting input from us. For example, I need to ask some query regarding the bank, right? When I say bank, so in bank there are plenty of banks are available, right? Which means the bank concept is like a blood bank, right? then river bank, then normal finance bank. So what context I am saying? So we should understand the context properly. And if I make some spelling mistakes, for example, I am going to ask a question like, I need the PPT of NLP. So I can say that just give the NLP PPT, right? So maybe I am asking like that, or I am asking in some other ways. So you should understand the machine should understand the concepts of that context properly. So for that, the concept of natural language processing in NLP, there are plenty of algorithms are there. There are a lot of regex concepts are there. Then a lot of algorithms concept, like IFDD, lot of plenty of algorithms are there to understand the concepts. In that also, there are a lot of computations are there. But normally, when you learn, you can directly use the libraries, right? So I am like, if you want to learn the concepts properly, never try to use that library initially. First you have to do with computations, then try to use that libraries, then you will definitely get the exact concepts. But nowadays, almost if you are trying to learn the concept of machine learning, deep learning, or whatever it is, you just watch some YouTube videos or whatever it is. They are actually like mentioning the concepts with the libraries available. So yeah, just use that libraries functions. For example, like if you in the machine learning, we have a concept of fit. Fit is the function for training. But when you give fit, there are a lot of computations is actually performing in the backend. So you should understand the concepts of computations. That's very important. And for example, if you do dot predict function, that prediction is actually definitely will happen in that. But in that also, there are plenty of computations out there. Got it. So you should understand that concepts properly. And when we learn the evolution, so in the year 2022, actually that's a main evolution that happened. That is the concept of generative AI. Actually, AI is very popular with the evolution of the concept of generative AI. Actually, generative AI is very common right now. It's your chat GPT, right? It's your Gemini, right? So in normal machine learning or deep learning concepts, they are actually doing the predictions. They are not generating some content. They are actually doing the predictions. In generative AI, they are generating new content. For example, if you ask to chat GPT, just generate some email for a leave application or like that. So they are actually generating a content. So that's the concept of generative AI. So if you're really planning to learn generative AI, first you have to understand the concept of machine learning, deep learning properly. Then you have try to learn the concept of generative AI. Right. So generative AI, you are using large language models. In machine learning and deep learning, you are creating some models. Right. Your AI models or machine learning models. But here you are generating, or here you're going to use with LLMs. LLMs means large language model. It's also some computations are there. Right. There are plenty of free LLMs are there, and there are a lot of paid LLMs are there. Right. So free LLMs means Llama, that type of LLMs are there. GPT-2, I mentioned GPT-2. Nowadays, you know that GPT 5.1 is there, right? So you should understand that GPT-2 is actually free, but GPT-2 is not accurate as you are saying in GPT-5 or 4. Okay. So, but you should understand that in the concept of generative AI, you can use plenty of LLMs. Llama. Then Llama is actually the model that created LLM created by Meta. Meta means Facebook, right? Then Google's models are there, GPT models are there, and DeepSeek models are there. Plenty of models are available. So, what is the advantage of generative AI that evolved in the year 2022? In generative AI, you can create videos, text, images, audios, etc., etc., with the help of LLMs. So, how you can use LLMs? So, it is nothing but you can actually use LLMs for fine tuning. For example, if you have a set of large data and you can train your uh, data with LLMs. You can use Llama or you can use GPT, whatever, you can use it for fine tuning. Got it. There's a concept of fine tuning out there, which means you can train your data with that models and you can create your own LLMs. That things are there. And one thing you have to understand that if you really want to learn the concept of generative AI, you should have a laptop or a desktop with GPU. So this is a concept that you have to understand. So in generative AI concept, we need a GPU, not CPU. It's GPU, graphical processing unit. We will discuss that thing later in our sessions, but you should understand that we actually nowadays it's common that GPU and NPU, neural processing unit. So earlier in our earlier days, we are already discussing with the CPU, right? So CPU means central processing unit that can process each and everything. But in the concept of generative AI, that concept actually little changed. So processing it with if you want to create an LLM or if you want to process an LLM, so you should need a GPU. That's better, but you should understand that you can also use CPU, but it will take more time. Got it. And what's now? Right. In the year 2025, what's the trending one? That is called agentic AI. So I hope you have a next session that is related to the agentic AI. So I'm not going to uh, say something in detail about the agentic AI part. You are going to learn the concept of agentic AI in the next session. But you should understand that what what agentic AI is differ from generative AI, deep learning, machine learning, and the concept of our traditional computing. So nowadays you may hear lot of news or lot of like afraid news regarding losing human jobs, right? Because of AI, right? AI is actually losing our jobs, right? AI is actually eating our jobs, eating our food, like that, right? There are a lot of layoff newses, right? So maybe you have heard. It's all because of that agentic AI. So what's the difference in agentic AI while comparing with others? So you should understand the concept of agentic AI. So it is nothing but a system. In theoretical, it's a typical system that can reason, plan, and take actions using tools. It's a simple concept, which means I'm just mentioning a scenario. Then you can imagine the significance of agentic AI in this era, right? For example, you are working in a college, right? Everybody is working in the college. So in your college, um, definitely there is an HR department. So actually, the HR department may handle new placements, right? New faculty placements, new your faculty leave approvals, like that. If you are in a company or a hospital or if you are in an organization, the HR department will handle all the new placements, new job assignments, new like your leave allocations, your leave approval, your leave rejections, right? All those things actually handled by the HR department of your organization. So what I am going to do, I am going to create an agent. I am going to create a simple agent. What's the purpose of that agent? It do all the task of an HR in a company, which means that agent can handle, um, for example, if a new placement opportunity is in your organization, which means there is a vacancy of an assistant professor in computer science department. So that agent will create a post and publish in the Facebook, Instagram page, and all in the media. Also, that agent can handle incoming mails or resumes that is related to that job placements. And my agent definitely filter resumes and give responses to the like a persons who applied for that positions. And that agent will have the capability of scheduling interviews, right? And that agent has the capability of um, handling your leave. If you want to take a leave on tomorrow, you have to send an email. So my agent will handle that, whether it approve or reject, or is it LOP, loss of pay, but all those things will handle. And that agent will handle all those things. So now I just created a simple agent. Okay. Which means,
Anish, you are on the
yes.
same slide only, right?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay, okay. Just
And
just to
discussing
confirm.
about, yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm just discussing about this part, last one, agentic AI. Yes. So in that agentic AI, that my agent, that HR agent, has the capability of doing all those things. And what it means, I can multiply or create multiples of that agents, HR agents, which means one HR agent handle all those social media, and one agent will handle like a leave approvals. Similarly, I can create multiple agents and they will work 24 into 7 without any sleepiness, tiredness, all those things. What about this scenario? Which means I can completely replace the HR department. So now you are thinking that it's a fantasy, right? No, it's not a fantasy right now. You should understand that uh, the IBM, right? IBM recently created an HR agent, right? And they have actually replaced the HR department in a particular organization in US with the help of their Watson. Maybe you have heard about IBM Watson. They have actually replaced the HR department by creating multiple HR agents. Got it. So that's the power of agentic AI. Got it. So I just mentioned, you will definitely learn the concept of agentic AI in detail, maybe in next uh, session. Okay, so this is a complete evolution of the computing. So we have actually started with our traditional computing, then machine learning concepts evolved, then deep learning concepts evolved, generative AI concepts evolved, and nowadays the trending one is agentic AI. Got it. So hope you got a clear picture about the difference between all those things. Got it.
Yes, sir.
Next, Yeah, in that multimodality, right? It is nothing but which means now I'm just going to explain all these concepts in detail. Okay, so the first thing is that like if you want to process images, audio, video, all these things simultaneously. So that's the main thing that you have to understand that. So we have actually have a shift in that we can process all those things simultaneously with the help of these LLMs, Gemini 1.5 Pro, Cloud, GPT-4, or all these have the capability of processing images, audio, video, all those things simultaneously. That is the main thing that you have to understand. Which means nowadays they can have the capability of analyzing some video. Video means it have a picture, right? Audio, all those things, right? Voice interactions. So nowadays we have that type of models are available, right? So what are the different like applications in that? Which means we can use it in healthcare. You can analyze the x-rays, which means the video x-rays, pictures, right? And patient history. Maybe you have heard a news regarding the Google's AI implementation in a hospital. So you just Google it. That's an interesting story that Google AI actually predicted the discharge of the patients in that hospital based on their history, their treatments, all those things. That AI predicts the discharge and also predicts the next admitted date of that patients based on the previous histories. Got it. So that type of things. And the same model you can apply in coding, right? In coding. So in coding, you can see that nowadays you can just upload a screenshot that AI generate the source code. Maybe it's in Flutter, Python, all those things. You just upload a screenshot. For example, if you want to develop a UI of login screen, you just take a pen and paper. You just draw username, text box, password, text box, login button. You just do it in a pen and paper and you can upload and create the code. All those things with the help of these LLMs and this coding, right? And in coding, I have something interesting. Maybe you already anti-gravity. So this is actually trending. This is actually trending in the industry right now. Earlier I have mentioned the concept of agentic AI, right? So this is the concept of agentic AI. It's a typical implementation. So the concept is Google's anti-gravity. Maybe you have already heard about, right? It's a next generation IDE, which means it's a just typical IDE for coding. It's a typical replacement of Visual Studio Code. But one thing is that it's completely built in AI. So if you are really interested, you just try to use it. It's completely free now. It's completely free now. And what's the advantage in that? In that, they have agents. So I will, I'm not going to give the demo. Okay. So you just see that here. Sorry. Okay. So here we can create multiple agents. So we are just communicating with that agent that will create code. Got it. So it's a future of coding. Okay. So it's actually a revolution in the IT industry, this anti-gravity that released a few days ago. Got it. Few weeks ago. Okay. So just uh, just try it. Okay. And we can apply in CCTV, which means we can detect the anomalies in the CCTVs in real time. Okay, all those things, it's an typical applications. And next trending one is SLM. Earlier I have mentioned about LLMs. LLMs is nothing but large language model. So what is small language model? Which means it's a concept of small is the new big. Which means maybe nowadays we are thinking about the privacy, right? Which means everyone is conscious about the privacy, right? So, and the speed. For example, if you're using the chat GPT or Gemini, when you just send a message or just type it and just send it, you can see that that message is actually sending to their server and process it, and you are getting the response from the server. So this SLM means it is actually processing all those locally on your machines or your smartphones without internet. So for that, there are LLMs are available. Llama 3 8B, Microsoft or Google Gemma, or it's a concept of Gemini LLMs, Google Gemma or Llama 3. With the help of these models, you can actually process in your machines. Got it? So this is a typical future, which means you are not need to send your data to the cloud. That's the main advantage of this concept of small language models. This is one of the major industry shift. Okay, which means it is nothing but instead of massive cloud like a dependent models, so this SLMs run directly on your machines. So what is the advantage of this? What's the advantage of this? Which means lower latency. You will get faster result, then higher privacy, then lower cost, which means you don't need a cloud. So that cost benefits. Okay, so that type of things are there. Got it. So this is the concept of SLMs. And also this one also, edge and privacy. This concept is also, it's a typical hybrid in nature. While comparing with SLM is completely runs locally on the machine. This edge concepts, it will not send the sensitive data to the cloud. The without the sensitive data, everything processed in the cloud. Right, it's a typical hybrid AI. Got it. So that also how higher latencies, cloud cost is very low. Got it. That concepts are there. Edge AI. Got it. Then we have a concept of agentic AI that I have already mentioned in the earlier things. This is actually the one of the trending ones. So this is when you compare it with the chatbot means it's just a typical conversations, right? So agents means the main aim is to execute that task. Got it. So they will create a plan, they will create an action and observation. So that type of concepts, that's I have already mentioned in detail. So all these, there are plenty of applications for agents, right? Agentic AI, which means the spam analyzer, like a data analyzer, statistical part, plenty of things. See that that agent searches web for IPL 2025 stats, which means we can create. The main significance is that we are actually creating the like a agents AI for a particular task. That's earlier I have mentioned about the HR. Got it. So this is the next important concept, retrieval augmented generation, which means um, here also we have to discuss few things. Actually, there is a major challenge that we are facing is LLM's hallucinations, which means we have a technique called RAG. It actually solves that by connecting our model to the real data, which means sometimes, for example, LLM's hallucination means sometimes they don't know what to do, right? So they are in a typical hallucinations, and at that time RAG is a concept, retrieval augmented generation, that concept that connect our LLM with our local database or PDF, like that. For example, you are creating a model that needs, sometimes it need your data, might be that is in your database or in a particular Word document or a PDF document. So they can connect it with that and create the solution, right? And the ways they can create knowledge graphs likewise. So the main benefit is that it is more accurate, which means apart from the web answers, it will actually need some our own data. Maybe just think about an insurance, right? For if you want a typical insurance, so there are some plans are available, right? And you have a sensitive data, which means you have a your data and your health um, history, all those things. So that's a typical private one. So you are keeping that in a typical PDF file or a image or a Word document. So this the concept of RAG means you can connect that your typical LLMs with your own local data. Got it. So next one is, this is a very important concept that you have to understand, hardware evolution. So earlier I have mentioned that for typical computations in older days, we only need CPU, right? We only need a typical i3 processor laptop or a i5 processor laptop. Okay, that's the only thing that we need. But nowadays, we want to do some heavy lifting applications for we need to execute. So for that, you should understand that AI progress is actually not just about the typical softwares. Hardware should evolve rapidly. Got it. So without hardware, AI can't exist, because for processing we need GPUs and NPU. So what is GPU? GPU, it's actually, I have mentioned about a typical NVIDIA. Maybe you have heard about AMD and NVIDIA. That's a graphical processing unit. But GPU, in the case of GPU, NVIDIA is more popular in the AI world. I will mention the reason why they are popular. I will explain that thing later. But you should understand that we should need a GPU. Okay, GPU are the main hardware for training models, which means if you want to train a large language model, you should need a GPU, not CPU. Which means you just understand the concept. With the help of GPU, you can train a model within 1 hour. The same thing you can do it with the CPU. For it will take 10 more hours. So that's the difference. And GPU is always better in LLMs. Got it. And we have a concept of NPU, neural processing unit. So now that GPU means that's an external processing unit. You can, yes. Okay. Okay, GPU is actually an external unit, and you should understand the concept of NPU. So nowadays, in your Intel processors or Apple Silicon, you can see that inbuilt they have a neural processing unit. In top-end smartphones, they have NPU, neural processing unit. So maybe just take the flagship models of Samsung and iPhone. For example, just take Samsung S25 Ultra. They have inbuilt neural processing unit. In Apple iPhones or laptops, they have inbuilt NPUs are there. Got it. In latest Microsoft laptops, they have Intel Core Ultra processing units are there. So you should understand that NPU means is actually higher efficiency for background task. If you want to process it, for example, if you are going to do lot of AI tasks, they need NPU and GPU. Got it. GPU is just for training. NPU means that processing part. Got it. So there are a lot of neuromorphic computing networks are there, which means it's a typical brain-like chips, which means lot of
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
We have one question in the chat.
Okay,
So, what types of AI tasks are best suited for NPUs?
where it is. Okay, just a minute. I will explain. See, you should understand the concept of difference between NPU and GPU. I have already mentioned that GPU means a typical external unit. So it's a typical graphics unit. Okay, it stands for graphical processing unit, which means if you want to create an LLM, you definitely need GPU. Got it? If you want to create a large language model, you should need a GPU. But if you want to process it, for example, with the help of NPU, there are a lot of applications, like if you want to remove a person from the picture. Got it? So there is a picture is there. If you want to remove a person from this picture, so this means NPU is better, which means they have to understand the edge detections properly. So for that type of process, NPU is better. Got it? So it is inbuilt with your CPU. Got it? So actually, NPU is inbuilt with the CPU. That's why I have mentioned examples of Intel processing and Apple Silicon processors. It is inbuilt unit. GPU, it's an external unit. And you should understand that in Apple Silicon, they have inbuilt GPUs are also there. Got it? But in NPU, currently, it is inbuilt in the CPU itself. It is just for processing it. For example, if you want to blur an image, if you want to denoise an image, or if you want to create a noise to the image. So you should understand that NPUs, it is just for processing. Got it? Which means you have to do the AI task in your device. So that's why I have mentioned the examples of flagship phones. Right. So even in the flagship phones, you can do lot of AI tasks, like with text messaging. For example, if you want to create, if you want to check your grammar, or like in the keyboard, if you want to just rephrase your text. So in that, NPU is a better way, which means they don't need to send your data to the cloud and process it. So it's an inbuilt one. Got it. Hope you got the clear picture about the usage of NPU, right? It's an inbuilt unit. It's just for processing all those things in the locally. GPU means it is just for training purpose. If you want to create LLMs, that times you need GPU. Got it. So apart from NPU, you should understand that you should explore neuromorphic computing, which simply I have already mentioned that it's actually a typical mimics of the human brain. It actually spikes the neural networks. That some new concepts are there, spiking neural networks. That's evolving technology. Got it.
Yes, sir. One more question in the chat.
Okay.
For language translation from voice to text, which is better?
See, if you want to translate a typical voice to text, which means speech to text generations, right? So for speech to text, there are plenty of NLP libraries are there. That's the concept of NLP, natural language processing. Got it. So there are plenty of libraries are there for NLP, speech to text libraries, and text to speech libraries, right? So in that also, that's a typical processing, right? So that NPU, they can process it, they can do the conversions, but you should understand that in that concept we will definitely use a concept of NLP. What is the significance of NLP, natural language processing? Which means we need to understand the context, right? They have to based on that context they need to rephrase it. So sometimes I will mention some Malayalam words or Hindi words or English words. So they should understand it properly. So we need that type of conversions. So that needs a simple library that we need for processing that. Definitely CPU will process it. Got it. So that's CPU means you can use NPU. That's all. Got it. So this is the main thing, the application of AI in software engineering. So it's very common right now, Copilot, Cursor, Bolt. There are plenty of tools are available in software engineering. And you should understand that Claude, right? Then I have, apart from this, I have actually gave a demo of that anti-gravity. That's the latest concepts in software engineering concepts for coding. So actually that anti-gravity, that will definitely change the IT industry or a coding, which means a person need only they have to learn the prompt engineering, right? So nowadays that concept is trending right now, right? The concept of prompt engineering, which means you have to learn only how to give prompts. Got it. So based on that prompts, AI will generate the source code. For example, if you want to generate um, like um, um, a Swiggy type applications, you can just give that prompt for each pages. They will generate it. And what is the significance of anti-gravity in that? So it's a typical agentic AI model, which means we can give that some task for that agents and they will create it simultaneously and they will integrate it, right? So you don't need to go to like a chat GPT or like a Gemini or a DeepSeek. You can only use anti-gravity, right? So maybe GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot is mean that it's actually a assistance to the coders, right? So for example, you may use that def if you want to add two numbers. So you just need to just need to give some comments, right? Just give some comments and they will generate it. But here the difference is that this agentic AI, it will generate a typical software instantly if you created that prompt. Not only the source code, it will create the entire things simultaneously. That's a that's a beauty of the concept of anti-gravity. Okay, apart from all those code libraries or code like extensions, anti-gravity is the best one. That's a trending one in the industry right now. Okay, and yeah, and actually, how next a typical debate question, like in asking a lot of persons, right? If we have a like these type of AI tools, so why we need developers, right? Because prompt engineers are enough for creating the code or that type of things. Then why we need this type of engineers or software engineers? So will AI will replace will AI replace the uh, this type of developers? That I would like to know your perspective about that. Okay, so we will discuss that in the end. Okay, okay. So and according to me, I am suggesting that sometimes AI will replace some set of jobs, definitely. But you should understand that AI will definitely help to increase our productivity by 3x or 4x times. Got it. For example, if you want to create a PPT, so you don't need to bother about it, you just type it. So you can take it. You can take it a session or you can take it for taking a class, right? Okay, so if you want to develop a software earlier, if you want to if you want to complete a software by taking 30 days, 30 working days for completing a typical project. So nowadays we can complete that same project in 5 days, right? So that's the difference, which means it's actually increased the productivity. You don't need to remember the source code, which means it actually uh, helped us to do more, right? And cost is definitely a factor, right? So we can reduce the costs. There are plenty of things out there, and I agree that AI will definitely affect some set of jobs, right? Nowadays you have heard a lot of news regarding the involvement of AI in health sector. In health sector also, some surgeries is actually doing by the robots, right? AI robots, which means the precision in the stitching, precision in the surgery cut are higher in robotics rather than the manual stitching, manual markings. Got it. So definitely in future, AI will be a part of not only in the typical software engineering, AI will be a part of every industry. Got it. But in that, this concept is very, very important. Responsible AI and ethics. Got it. So, uh, with great power outcomes, with great power, it comes responsibility. Right. We have a term called responsibility, which means nowadays you have had a lot of news regarding deep fakes, creating major security challenges in identity verifications, with the help of deep fake creating some fake images, right? So you may heard about some sexual content creations with the help of deep fakes technology. Okay, so that type of things. So you should understand that with the help of AI, you can create anything, but you have to follow some ethics. So, like earlier, this ethics is a term that we use in the medical industry, right? So nowadays, the ethics concepts is common in AI. So we have to follow some ethics. And for example, if you are creating your own LLMs, you have to follow some ethics, and you have to follow some bias, right? Ensuring fair training data sets. Your data set should be fair, and your outcome should be fair. For example, if you are creating an AI for predicting the election result, so that's a sensitive data or sensitive information that you are going to predict. You just write that with your chat GPT or Gemini. You just ask this question, right? Will LDF or some political parties will win or not? You just ask that type of information to your GPTs or Geminis. You just ask it. Definitely, this chat GPT, Gemini, all those things is actually following the ethics. So they will not give the that type of information. Got it? Which party will win? Which data? So that type of sensitive information, right? And prompt injection. It's a typical new attack similar to a SQL injection. So it's typical for AIs, prompt injections, right? So earlier we have heard about the time SQL injections, right? So similarly, we have prompt injections, which means we have created a LLM, and someone is actually injecting some information in our prompts. Same way of this SQL injections. So we need to block it. Likewise, for example, someone is asking some sensitive informations or asking them to create some fake images or sexual contents or violence content. Got it? So that type of prompts, we have to block it. And we have to follow the regulations in each country, whatever, European Union or India or whatever it is. You have to follow the that regulations completely. It is actually when it will be like a big thing. It is just for when you create your own LLMs. Got it? If if you are planning to create your own LLMs, this AI ethics, that's very important. Responsible AI and ethics. Got it? So you should understand that ethics is no longer an optional one. It's a core requirement of a country, right? So what about the future? So maybe when we consider that 2025 to 26, now we are in the end of 2025, and we are actually just entering to 2026. So maybe you have heard about the concept of video creations. Video creations means, so now we have a models like a Sora and Google Veo. They have the capability of creating the extra scenes. For example, I think last week I have read an article that I forgot that news. Actually, is one of the Bollywood director used the Google Veo for creating an extra scene in his movie. Right. So that's a very difficult scene to create, and there are a lot of costs involved in that scene. Okay. So with the help of Google VO, they have actually created that scene, and they have saved up like a lot of dollars like in that project. So that's some use cases, right? And you have to understand that there are lot of AI foundation models available in robotics. Like maybe you have heard Tesla Optimus. They are actually trying to create their own AI model, and some like quantum AI models are actually in the pipelines. So you can expect all those things in the like very soon. And when we um, like uh, like the summary in all those things, we have actually started with the our normal computation things. So from the normal computations, we have predicted things like machine learning, deep learning, and from that predictions we have generations, which means generative AI concept. And from that generative AI perspective, we have agentic AI concepts. We can create multiple AI agents. So that's the first thing that we have discussed. The multimodality we have discussed, and we have discussed about the local implementations, which means we are actually moving to the SLMs, which means small large models like language models, which means we are processing each and everything in our own machines, right? Rather than sending all that sensitive information to the cloud. That's better. Which means nowadays it's our smartphone, uh, like our laptop, they're actually capable of processing all that information in our machines also, right? So that's a concept. Then agents. So agentic AI concepts that we have discussed. So agentic AI is just for doing some task. It's just not for a typical chatbot. Chatbot is means based on our like inputs they are responding. Agents is like they are actually like a plan, execute, action, like this that type of things are there. Then we have discussed about the hardware importance, right? Which means GPUs and NPU, neural processing unit. So how they are adapting to the AI workloads. Got it. So you should understand that these trends together define the next decade of computing, right? So that's very important concepts. Okay, so that's all about my part. So we have discussed each and everything in detail. So now, if you really have some questions to ask, it's your turn. You can ask the questions, and I'm very happy to answer it. If you have some questions, please let me know.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, is the tools used for prompt engineering actually falls under the category of genetic AI? I mean,
Yeah, genetic means generative AI.
yes, generative AI.
The prompt engineering, yeah. The prompt engineering means that's a concept that we are using in the concept of generative AI, which means if you want to generate some contents. So contents means either video or audio. So whatever your content, you need some prompts. I think like nowadays there are a lot of trends in the Instagram and Facebook. We will just upload our photo, and we just create just give a prompt, and they will change our look. Actually, you maybe you have used that, right? So it is nothing but it's a typical prompt. So how to give proper prompts, that's very important. So proper prompts will give proper result. You should understand that our LLM model has the capability of doing all those things. But in the case of LLMs, they need prompts. So that's why prompt engineering is nowadays is trending. So for the case of prompt engineering, a person don't need some like a technical skills. They only need the a skill for asking for the proper query, right? So how they need to fetch the result? So first they have to visualize the result or outcome that they are expecting. So based on that like output, they have to write the prompt. Same way of earlier we have fetched data from the SQL, which means SQL data are there, right? So based on our SQL query, we are collecting our data. For example, select star from table name, we will get some data. Same way we will use select star from table name, join with another table and fetching the data. So that's another query. In the context of SQL, we say it's query. But in the context of generative AI, we will say that it's prompt. So, got it?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay.
Sir, I also have a question.
Yes.
Like CPU and GPU, is NPU is also present physically in the system? Yes, of course, NPU will be present. Now, for programming in CPU, we are having some programming languages, and for GPU also we have like OpenCL or a CUDA like that. Yeah.
OpenCV, yes, CUDA.
So
Yes.
for NPU also, is there any programming language, or it is just like TPU? How we use the TPU for acceleration is the
Yes.
same way we are using, or?
Yes. It's the same way. It's no other programming or libraries needed. Which means it's under the CPU. So it's it's the same way of processing. But this NPU is mainly targeted for that neural operations.
Okay.
Which means, for example, if you want to select a person from the picture, so which means you already know that edge detection needed, right? So
No,
in the case of,
what was my question is, for example, if I want to use GPU, I will add that CUDA.h header file.
yes,
For if I want to integrate with NPU, do I need something I have to do?
you don't need to use any extra libraries.
Okay.
Okay, with that you can with the help of our normal libraries, you can use it. No problem.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, there is another question in the chat box, like comparison between a transformer and LLM.
Yeah, transformer and LLM means transformer is a library that developed by Google, right? If you want to use LLMs, for example, you should understand that LLM is the concept of large language model. If you want to use that LLMs, for example, you have a typical data set. Okay, so you want to do the fine tuning with another LLMs, which means I am using GPT-2 LLM. Okay, GPT-2 is completely free. You can use it. If you want to use higher, you have to pay. So whatever the LLM, you can just download it. Okay, then you have a data and you have to do the fine tuning. So for that type of process, we have to use the library called transformers. It's actually powered by Google. Got it. It's a library. Transformer is a library that you can use LLMs for your, or if you want to process it, you can use the transformer library. What emerging trends in AI and computing do you believe will have the most? What emerging trends in AI and computing do you believe will have the most significant impact on industry in the next 5 years? Right. So that's I strongly believe that that agentic AI. So that concept will definitely make an impact on not only limited to the IT industry. It will definitely uh, like will definitely will provide a significant impact on almost all major industries in next few years. No doubt in that. So agentic AI is the future. It's a multimodal data set. Is it necessary to be simultaneous? Not like that. You can do it simultaneously, or you can do like one by one. It's how it's you can actually do the customizations, which means you should understand that we have the like a capability of processing it simultaneously. What specific business problems can agentic AI solve that traditional methods can't? Uh, Business problems can agentic AI solve that traditional? See, I have already mentioned that agentic AI is just for like the when you look at the pipeline of that agentic AI. So we will create an action. Sorry, first we will create a plan, then action, then execute. So this is the basic pipeline of agentic AI. So you can actually customize or you can create your own agents. Got it. So which means in that specific question means that a traditional methods can't. I not strongly believe in that, which means you can create your own custom logic. Got it. You can create your own custom logic in that, and you can create your own agentic AI. It's based on your requirements. One thing is that you can do all those things in an automated thing, right? Which means that I have mentioned about that HR implementation that done by like IBM. So just imagine a scenario of resume filtration. That resume filtration, it's like a hectic process. If you are getting lot of resumes in your Gmail, it's very hectic task to filter all those things and select the apt persons for that job. So this agent will do it in a few seconds. So that's a difference, which means we can save time with the help of that agents. So that's the only thing. Got it. And there are a lot of costs, which means I have already mentioned the US that implementation of that HR like agentic AI in the US company. So you should understand that they have actually saved I think 40 millions of dollar in a tenure by with the help of that agentic AI, which means they have actually replaced that entire system. And one, you have to understand that we can create multiple agents, which means one agent can work with other agents. That is the significance of that agentic AI. This means you can create dependent multiple agents, like similar to our traditional system, senior manager, junior manager, like they are actually coordinating their works, right? So the same way, these agents can share their information with other agents and they can work. And similarly, I just mentioned about the HR module. So similarly, you can create another modules and they can connect it and they can work it. Got it. Any more questions?
If anyone have any queries, please ask to sir or you can put in the chat box.
So as there are no queries, let's wind up our first section.
Okay. Thank you
On behalf,
so much.
okay, thank you, sir. Okay. On behalf of TocH Engineering College and the organizing committee of the AICT Adult Sponsored Faculty Development Program, I take the opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Mr. Anish Nair, for delivering an engaging and insightful talk on the emerging trends in AI and computing. Sir explained the progression from traditional computing with explicit programming through machine learning and deep learning to the emergence of generative AI was presented in a very structured and easy to understand manner. Also, he delivered a highly insightful and well-structured section on the evolving landscape of artificial intelligence and the explanation of multimodality, highlighting how AI can see and hear, provide a clear picture of how machines are becoming more human-like in interaction. His valuable insights and real-world perspectives greatly enriched the section. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And we kindly request you to accept our virtual memento as a token of appreciation. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much. And I have shared my contact information in the chat box. So those who want, they can use it. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for the talkers, for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And we conclude the first section and we will resume after a 5-minute break.